Okay, we've completed our test in auto optimization. Just one or 2 points. When I'm going in and out of basic install and advanced install, or whatever I'm trying to do to adjust my each of my different zones, so whether the rads or underfloor heating, what have you, the schedule will jump back to a default point. So that had caught me once or twice during the test. I wasn't too sure what was going on. That's the first thing. And the second thing is no, that's basically it. There was one other thing about the idea when there's no auto optimization, what's it looking for in reference to when it should turn on, and that's its setback, and they were adjusted at different temperature setbacks, different references, either 5 or 8 degrees, and I noticed that and I was wondering what was going on, but that's all that was. Okay, so we ran our test, and what we got is this. Basically, we could see clearly that C1, C2, and C3 and auto were all activating at the correct time. It's shown there, and the interesting one to be looking at is actually on the touchscreen. It shows heat when T is less than. Okay, and that will adjust depending on whether you're C1, C2, or C3 or auto. Okay, so that's your reference where you should be looking at, or this is where I was looking at to see what the activation temperature would be. So we can see in their spreadsheet here that we could see that for C1, C2, and C3 it stepped up by about a degree each time. So just to pick at that for a second, I'm just going to look at each one of our blocks. So our first block in temperature, we could see that was 1153, and the heat when T is less than was 5, 5, 8, 17, 17, 17 for first 6 zones, and then 5, 5, 17, 17, 17 for the remaining 5 zones. That changed then for at 12:21. That's after 12 o'clock. Okay, so that's for C3. That's about 3 hours before its scheduled start time, which would have been 3 o'clock. So at 12 o'clock, because we're on C3, it comes on. Now the important point here, just in relation to that, is we can see that it would have been scheduled to turn on at 17 degrees. That was its setback. Because it was on C3, it actually dropped to 15 degrees. So in other words, it actually moved it down, which was unexpected. Okay, so it actually would have come on sooner with setback than it would have with C3. That's just a part of the calculation that's done obviously in the software. Not a major deal. But it is calculating it right. So for C3 we did expect to see 15 degrees. However, I would have thought it would have accepted to 17 above the 15 because it's a higher temperature. But that isn't the case. So you can see that C3 you're getting -6 degrees. Okay, so below 15 degrees it will turn on. So your set point in our particular case was 21. -6 is 15. Obviously the setback was -4. Okay, so that's why it was 17. Okay, so but nevertheless it did do its calculations right, and you can see that when we went on to 12:36, that's a half an hour later, it went up to 16 degrees. Again, a half an hour again, after 1 o'clock it went to 17 degrees, and after 1 o'clock, and then after half 1 it went to 18, and after 2 o'clock went to 19, and after half 2 at least it went to 20, and then finally it'll get up to its set point at 3 o'clock. In addition to that, you can see auto optimization for our first part of our test kicked in at exactly to our 12:30. After 12:30, auto optimization kicked in. The second part of our test, and we did expect it to change because it didn't reach its set point, it actually stepped back and kicked in at just after 12 o'clock instead of half 12. So auto optimization equally is working well. So that's what's going on in those particular cases. But it's a pass for now.